because it's not about that. Okay. So I just wanted to share what I was recently going through and the revelation that I just got. So the past couple days, I've been having some hurt, I would say, in my heart. And from something that my son said to me, he came to me a bit upset because he's a teenager and right now he does not have his own room. Um, so he was upset about it. And the way he brought it to me was in like I didn't like the tone that he had when he talked to me. So he was talking to me, so anyway, we had a conversation about him having his own room. Then I left, went driving around to clear my mind. One of my good friends who I haven't talked to in a very, very long time, she called me and we talked for over 2 hours. That never happens. Never happens. So I was riding around first and praying, and then she called me and we talked. I came home. I felt hurt from something he said during the conversation, and I was carrying that with me. So I was upset all day. Go to bed. The next day, which was yesterday, he in the morning, he's like, Mama, you good? Mama, you good? You all right? You upset? Because I felt like you're mad at me. And so the conversation starts again. But this time I'm trying to be more mindful in how I'm talking to him, because I've been praying and I understand what he's saying. It's just the delivery was not right. And then one of the comments that he made upset me. So I'm still talking from a place of hurt, even though I understand. I'm talking from a place of hurt, and I'm also trying to be mindful. I even prayed before he got in the car that I speak through the Holy Spirit and that I speak out of a place of love, because I didn't want harshness or anger to be the first thing that he saw from me. And so, we were talking, and then before school, he sat in the car with me for a little bit, and then he went on about his school day. After school, I see him, and automatically, my mind continues to go back to where we were talking, where I was hurt. It just went right back there. So I'm getting upset all over again. And then he comes home, he checks in again with me, see if I'm good, seeing if I'm upset. I'm like, I'm all right. Clearly I'm not, but I'm just not trying to get back to that emotion of being upset. So then he goes downstairs to do his work. And then I remind him, that he's supposed to do a chore. He starts to do his chore, but lays down because he wasn't feeling good, blah, blah, blah. The day goes on. I try to get over it by just not talking about it at all. I'm like, hey, when he comes downstairs, I made dinner, there's chicken, there's pasta, there's blah, blah, blah. So, checking, you're going to eat, la, la, la. And then I sit down on the couch and I'm just relaxing. I'm thinking, I'm reflecting, I'm watching all the children in the house. But just having a moment to myself. And then he comes over to me again and he's just looking at me. And then he's like, are you okay? Are you good? Are you still mad at me? I feel like you've been mad at me all day. And I'm like, I'm okay. But then I just look at him and I still feel sad. I was still sad. And then he just came and he sat beside me, and then he gave me a hug, and then he just talked about how he was feeling. And he talked about how he didn't mean to speak out in anger. He apologized. He just mentioned everything. He doesn't want to feel upset about anything with me, and the type of relationship we have and all of that stuff. And I was feeling exactly the same way. Me as a parent, I want my children to come to me for any and everything. I want our relationship to be as best as it can be. I want us to be able to talk through hard things. I want us to be able to love through hard things. And I don't want any hurt or animosity towards my kids. They're part of me, and I was feeling that. Up until the point where he came to me again and hugged me and he just let everything go. Everything that he was thinking about, he just told me all how he was feeling and everything. And I genuinely appreciate that my child, he's about to be 16 years old, he's always so open to apologizing. He's quick to apologize. That he's quick to apologize. And I was just praying to God, like, I'm laughing because when I was younger, my daughter's father actually said this to me so many times. He always said, don't be too proud. And I did not understand what the heck he was talking about. And he would say it over and over again. And now, as I'm living things out, I'm looking at myself like, because I'm not quick to apologize, I don't even remember me saying sorry first ever. People always come to me to apologize because I feel like they were wrong. Blah, 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 blah. I do also acknowledge where I was wrong in conversation, but I'm not quick to apologize, and I can admit that. But my son, on the other hand, is. So he came to me and he apologized and just let everything go. And I talked to him and I apologized too, because I did call him out of his name. Not cursing him or anything. I called him like a knucklehead because I was upset. And he didn't like that because I don't call him names, you know. I always say to him, he's smart, he's this, he's that, he could be anything. I mostly uplift my children. That's how I speak. But out of anger, I had called him a knucklehead. And not like, you knucklehead. It was just like knucklehead, something like that. But still, he didn't like it. He didn't like it coming from me. And I don't want to be a mom that does that. You know, I don't ever want to be a mom that puts their kids down, ever. I want to uplift them. So we got to the point where we both were on the couch, just sitting, hugging. I think we were hugging for like at least 2 minutes straight. And if you think about it, hugging at least even like for more than 15 seconds feel like a long time. We were hugging for a really long time. And just like holding each other and listening to each other and talking to each other. It's like me and him were the only ones in the room. Nobody else mattered. And it was a room full of like his siblings and everybody. But it was just us in that moment. So that happened. I felt lighter. But then I went to bed. I was asleep, y'all. It was like 12 o'clock in the morning. Or almost. It was like 11. And then I was sleep. He came to me again. Because I think maybe it was just on his mind. And he just gave me a hug as I was asleep. He was like, I'm sorry, Mama. I'm sorry. And I was like, that means he's showing me how much he values the relationship that we have with each other. And I really appreciate it. That's why I try to live the way I'm living with them. And I try to be open, you know, when they do wrong. I try to still be there for them, to encourage them to make better choices. And, you know, so he did again. He's like, sorry. He gave me a hug. I think at that point, I had let everything go. Then what I just realized, this is the reason why I started recording this video. I'm sorry, y'all, because it's so long. But the reason why I started recording was because I was listening to a live. I'm not even sure the name of the person who was talking about it, but he was talking about everything. And then he started to talk about, this actually popped up on my phone by itself. I didn't turn on the video. He was talking about unforgiveness. And it had reminded me, I'm like, why does this keep happening? Mind you, I have the Bible app on my phone, so I get notifications daily about stuff. And before this even happened, like 2 days before or something, I kept getting the power of forgiveness. So I opened it up and I started reading it. I got something about forgiveness again, and I started reading it. I'm like, why, God, why do you keep talking to me about forgiveness? Who do I need to forgive? Why do I need to forgive? And I'm like, do I need to forgive myself for the things I did in the past that are not right? Who do I need to forgive? The only thing I was thinking about. But then I let it go. I completely forgot about that. This whole thing happened. The live comes up that reminds me of that part of the Bible, that I think it was a Bible plan that I had clicked on a while back that I never read through. I never followed. And initially I got it for myself because I didn't live the whole life, and I still had things in my heart that I'm just like letting them lie dormant and just paying no mind. So I was like, maybe I need to forgive myself. Let me read through this. So it came up. It was on my mind. I let it go. That happened. even last night, up to last night, I let it go. That happens this morning, and I remember immediately that the Lord had been walking me through, reminding me of forgiveness, 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 forgiveness. And then the guy on the live today is like, if you don't forgive, like how the fact that I'm opening doors, bitterness in your heart is an open door to allow the enemy to come in and do what he does. Tomorrow. Okay, I thought so. And then saying that, because I had bitterness. I was holding on to what made me upset. He was saying that basically everything that I was doing the past 2 days I was demonstrating unforgiveness. I was not willing to forgive my child for a comment that he made during a conversation when he had come to me multiple times to apologize. Multiple times. Mind you, this comment, he didn't call me out my name. He didn't slam doors. He didn't storm off. It was none of that. But his comment was big enough to the point, it wasn't big, but it was enough to hurt my feelings. And I sat in that hurt, y'all. I let that hurt eat me up. Like, I was just bubbling. Anytime I saw him, I had anger. And that is not of God. I can't walk in alignment with God and be unwilling to forgive my own child. And my child came to me multiple times and said, I am sorry. I am sorry. I need help in this area. He said it to me multiple times. I need help with this. I need to learn how to respond when I'm feeling upset. I need help. He said that to me. And I said, I said what I said in response. Like, I'm here. I'm willing to help. But I did not forgive. And I'm like, why am I so upset? Because I left the door open by holding on to this, by being bitter. I sat in hurt. I was sitting in it. And no wonder, like, when I saw my light, like my kids, my joy, part of my joy, my pride and joy, I'm like looking at him with not with love in my eyes and not with love in my heart. And I was like, it didn't even hit me that I was like that no wonder I felt hurt for so long, is because I did not forgive and let go when I should have done it earlier, way earlier in conversation. And I know, and now I'm thinking, like, God, I just thank you, because he was before me. He knew I needed this before I knew it. He said, here's the power of forgiveness. Read this. Before I even knew why I needed it. He's here. He was there with me during, because I kept praying. I was like, please let me speak through the Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit, speak through me so that whatever I say to my child, I'm not hurting him. I didn't want to speak in anger. I didn't want to make anything worse. I didn't want to, so I was avoiding it. Really, that's what I was doing. I was just moving on to the next thing. Like, here, you want to eat, blah, 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 blah. That's how I was addressing it. I wasn't saying sorry. I wasn't forgiving. I wasn't doing that. I was just addressing it by moving on to the next thing. God was still with me. God was still with him. And even now, up until the point where I am now, where I'm like, God is like, this is why I was saying this to you. You need to forgive him. You needed to forgive him earlier, but you definitely need to forgive him now, and you need to keep moving on forward. And I'm like, wow, I left that door open, and that's why I was hurting for so long. And that hurt. It felt bad. It felt like it didn't feel like love. It felt like when you got an issue with, like, somebody you're in a close relationship with, that stuff hurt. It hurts your stomach. It hurts your mind. It hurts your heart. It just does not feel good. And so I think, I don't know if there's a moral, but what my biggest takeaway is, prayer. It's always prayer. Always prayer. There's always like revelations. There's always lessons that we're learning like every day. I know I'm learning something like so often. And then like God shows you that he's with you now. He's with you. He cares about what you care about. He's showing me that he cares. Like, I care deeply about my kids. He's showing me that he cares. He's helping me to fix relationships. He's helping me to learn to put my pride to the side and be willing to forgive. Because I kept praying, I'm asking God to help me not be so prideful. I can't live like this. I cannot keep living in pride, because it doesn't help. It doesn't help me. It was not going to help my family. It's not good for any of us. So it was a lot, y'all. That was a mouthful. But I just want to remember what I just went through, and I want to remember what I learned. And I'm on a journey. I feel like I'm going to just be documenting stuff as I'm going through it, because I know I'm not the only one, and I want to remember how God brought me through, what it felt like, and then the revelations that came to me after. It's just powerful. It's just, this part is the beautiful part. Like, the other stuff, that didn't feel good, but this part is beautiful. This part is what I needed. So I'm just grateful. And yeah. Love you, son.